Hello and welcome back to my craft room. It's the third week of November, so we're starting to think festive thoughts, and today I've got a fun little idea for you. I'm going to show you how I turn these, and I get a lot, I'm a big coffee drinker, so this is what these little pods come in. How I turn some of these into a reusable advent calendar. So I made this one. I made this one for us, and then I made this one, which got a bit broken, for the grandchildren. And this one's been sent back to me to be mended and refilled, ready for this year. So I've got 10 days or so before it starts. So I thought while I'm doing that, I could quickly show you how I did it. So I'm going to go to my desk cam, and I do love these Tassimo coffee pods. I love my Costa coffee. Where's the pod gone? Oh, there it is. But I do feel really guilty about the amount of waste that I know I can get these recycled through TerraCycle, as long as I can find a nearby collection point, but that's all been on hold during the whole lockdown situation, so I've been feeling a bit guilty about that. But I did find a use for some of these, and I'm not going to go through the whole process because I just thought I'll just quickly show you the idea. So you can see what I've done is I've used 6 of them, and I've lined them up and stuck them together side by side. Before I stuck them together, I cut this off so it was straight, and then I cut out a piece there. You can see what I've done. I've done exactly the same on both of them. And then with ours, I think I used I had some wooden kind of lolly sticks, kind of coffee stirrer type things, and I used that on ours, just to give the sort of effect of like weathered wood. And I used some crackle effect finish on here, so we've got sort of teal colour underneath the cream here going into the red here, and that kind of fits with our Christmas decor. And then I had some leftover decorative papers, which I used to cover the fronts of these little origami boxes. I'll show you how to make the little origami boxes and what dimensions I used to fit inside these. So this is really just to give you the idea. It was pretty straightforward. I mean, I just cut that shape out of there. Used the shape I'd cut as a template to cut all the others from, so they all looked pretty much the same. And then I used a bit of mountboard scrap or something. This was, or the back off a sketchbook or something, just to make a little base here. And then this shape I drew out first on a folded piece of paper. So I drew one half, opened it out, cut it, opened it out so that it would be symmetrical. With the one for the kids, it was just a plain piece of the mount board. I was lucky enough to get some mount board scraps from a local picture framer who just let me have them for nothing because they were not, because he couldn't use them. So there, yeah, I just made a little sort of frame to set it all off and painted that gold. The little knobs for the drawers, they were just buttons. I've just glued buttons on there, and I have some rubber stamps, but you could just as well print them on a computer. I just stamped the numbers out on paper, used a hole punch to punch out the circles, and then I put some crackle glaze because I quite wanted to carry on that distressed effect. I think what I'm going to do to refurb the one for the kids, last year I thought it was fun to do these nutcracker. I had a nutcracker stamp, so I just stamped it out several times and coloured them all in differently. Did the rest of it in this sort of same crackle effect that I did on ours. But I think this year I'm going to give it a whole new look, and I'm going to do red and white candy stripes. I'm going to recover the fronts of the drawers with this green, so it'll be red, white and green and gold, to show you how the idea of it works. You have to be careful what order you put them in when you replace the drawers. They don't all need to be in strict numerical order, left to right or anything, but you need to know that if number 1 was up here, I'd have to pull all these drawers out to get to it. I think I need to go back to Facecam to show you it working. There we go, that's better. So on the 1st of December, we will pull out this little drawer and the next one will drop down. And then the second will pull out this one. And number 3 will drop down, so I'll be able to get to number 3. And where's number 4? 4 is here, 5 is there, 6. So they don't have to be in strict order, you just need to be mindful that you need to be able to get at the earlier days. Oh, hopefully that will make sense. So I've just dropped one straight into the rubbish bin under my desk, but you want that. So I'm quite happy to keep the same colours for ours. Let's go back to desk cam. Because I quite like these colours. A bit different from the sort of traditional, but I still think it feels Christmassy to me. So all I need to do with ours, John has already filled it with, filled both of them. Each drawer's got a granddad joke in it. Ours are probably a little bit more near the knuckle than the ones for the kids. And then each drawer will also have, if I show you, inside of this little box. So there's a little joke, and each drawer will also have sweeties in it. Obviously they need to be wrapped sweeties, and for the kids one they need to be small enough to fit 3 in because there are 3 of them. So ours just needs the sweeties put in. John's already done the jokes. And it could be, you know, if you didn't want to do jokes, it could just as well be little interesting facts or motivational quotes, or you know, just personal messages. So yeah, all you need to make them is 6 of those, 48 squares of paper. Now there's no reason why you couldn't do it with any kind of paper. Cheap old copy paper would work. The book, because of the way the boxes are constructed, they're pretty robust actually, and you wouldn't need to put buttons on the front. You could just grab hold of them and pull them out. I just liked the buttons for the decorative effect really. But you could put little loops of ribbon, or you could put little brads through, anything like that really. So I'm going to show you how to make the boxes because they're really straightforward, and let you know what dimensions I use to fit these particular boxes. But you might need to experiment and adjust a bit if you were using a different branded box, I guess. I'm sure you can make a similar principle work with other types of boxes, but I just liked the idea, so I thought while I'm refurbing this one anyway, I may as well share it with you. Okay, so I've got 2 bits of these. This is quite flimsy paper, so probably equivalent to what you might put through your printer. So I thought that way I can show you that they are quite strong little boxes. These doesn't need to be fancy paper. Right, so I'm going to start with the pattern side up. If you're using paper that happens to be patterned both sides, gift wrap would be another good type of paper to use. And in fact, when you're doing these kind of origami folds, you don't really want the paper too thick because it makes it quite difficult. So I'm going to start pattern side up, whichever pattern I want to end up on the outside of my box facing me. And I'm just going to do a simple fold. Now, I like to use a paper folder because I've got several of them, but you could use just the back of your thumbnail or a ruler or something just to make that crease nice and sharp. They're very simple folds, these boxes, but it pays to be as accurate as you can. And then I'm just doing exactly the same in the opposite direction. So all I've done is fold that piece of paper in quarters. Now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to fold each of the points, each of the corners, into where those folds cross in the middle. Again, very straightforward, but just take care to be as accurate as you can. And obviously cutting the squares as accurately as you can first makes a huge difference. Oh, the dimensions, I'm starting with a 6 3/4 inch square, and that's to make the top of the box. You want the bottom of the box to be slightly smaller so they fit snugly inside each other. So the square for the bottom of the box is going to be 6.5 inches square. And I'm working in inches there because my guillotine has only got inches on it. So if you're working in centimetres, it's going to be about 17 centimetres for the top of the box and 16.5 for the bottom. Yeah, that's about right. So let's go back to this. So we've folded all of the points in to meet in the middle. And now I'm going to fold this edge up to halfway where those points are all meeting, like that. And then the opposite edge coming up to meet it in the middle. Open those out and do the same on the other two sides. There we go. Now I'm going to open this out like that, and I'm going to fold the bottom edge up to the middle again, and the opposite edge to meet it in the middle. And now this is the fun part. I'm just going to take hold of these two ends and just gently fold the whole thing together. So if I show you from this angle as well, it just kind of naturally forms that box shape. And there's no glue needed or anything. I'm just going to tuck that side in and that side in, and it's kind of wanting to pop up. You might want to put a little dab of Pritt stick or something there. What I did with the ones I made was I then cut little squares, because I had lots of pattern paper to use up, and I cut little squares of a coordinating pattern paper to go in the bottom to match what was on the front. Really not necessary. It was just because I just wanted to be using up my stash of pattern paper. So yeah, you could just give that a little dab of Pritt stick and that will stay. Right, so this is the bottom of the box and it's 6.5 inches or 16.5 centimetres. So I'm starting with the pattern side towards me again, folding it in half as accurately as I can. Same again in the opposite direction. Make those creases nice and sharp. Turning the whole thing over, and now each of the corners is going to fold in to meet the point in the middle where those folds cross. You will be making 48 of these, 24 tops and 24 bottoms. And now I'm going to fold these two edges into the middle. And now I'm going to open that out, turn it round, do the same in the opposite direction. So now I'm going to open this out like that, and I'm going to fold that bottom edge into the middle again. And then the fun part where you just coax it up into a box shape and tuck the little flaps in to hold it all together. Look at that. It's a really nice way of making little gift boxes for all sorts of things. You know, if you wanted to do table presents or whatever as well, you could make those to match your Christmas decor, make them with the gift wrap or something. And then hopefully one will fit nicely inside the other, like that. Cute. I think that's all I need to show you. Like I say, I'm not going to kind of try and do a tutorial for the whole, showing you the whole process. It would be quite long-winded, but it's pretty straightforward. So just to recap, you'll need 6 boxes similar to this. Cut them off straight there, cut a rectangle out like you can see I've done there, just so that you can see all of the drawers, all of the numbers. So you'll need 6 of those. You'll need to make 24 drawers, buttons or brads or something, or little loops of ribbon or something to go on the front if you want to do that, but you could definitely just take the drawers out like this. You don't need to have the little printed numbers if you want. And then I just had a piece of mount board, but you could use like the card you get on cereal boxes, or I used the back of sketch pads and things quite a lot, just to put a piece for the base, which needs to be a little bit bigger just to keep it stable, and this sort of fancy shaped piece for the front, but it doesn't need to be so fancy. The one I did for the kids was just straight like that. I think that looks quite nice as well. I think I put a straight piece on the back as well, just to make it all nice and smooth at the back and the sides, but that could be any kind of paper, and then I just wax and paint over the top. But you could do it all in you could just cover it in gift wrap, or if you've got something like sticky back plastic, you could use that. Wallpaper, so it matches your room. You know, there's all sorts of things you could do, and you wouldn't have to put sweets in here either. You could put other tiny things. Little chapsticks would fit in here, or wax melts, or just, yeah, the more you start thinking about it, the, you know, all the kinds of things you might put in homemade crackers would fit in there as well. You could perhaps even put little cookies. That'd be fun. Or you could do a different tea bag in every one. Tea bag and a cookie. There's an idea. Right, anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'll just come back up to the other camera again. What I'm going to do now is start refurbing this one for the kids. I'm going to have to take all of the buttons off. I'm going to cover the fronts of the drawers again. I don't know whether to paint over the nutcrackers or try and keep them. They're going to be quite fiddly to paint around, so I think they're probably going to get painted out. Sorry guys. And just to have this, I love the idea of the candy stripe. So what I'm going to do is all of that, then fill them with sweeties and stuff, and then I will come back and show you how they both look at the end, and see what you think. Wish me luck. Right, I think I'm done. I've given the advent calendar a bit of a facelift. The kids one, here it is. So I changed the fronts on some of the drawers, stuck the frame back on again, and I put this cute little fairy light trim just to like make it a little more Christmassy. And it's much heavier now because it's all full of sweeties. I might have tested one or two just to make sure they're all right. And ours is all ready to go as well. I think that's quite a cute idea, quite a fun idea to do. I hope you enjoyed watching it. You might have a go and put your own spin on it. Thanks very much for watching today. I will put some proper photos of the finished advent calendars at the end so you can see them, because the light isn't very good at the moment. It's quite late at night, and I will see you again really soon.